And we're live.
Excellent. Hello world, this is the Podlayer Proof of Concept demo team doing what we do, which is tracking the Mojo phenomenon and using our methodology to do reads week to week and showing the methodology that we use to the public. We're going to have our normal 3-act structure. Act 1 is fundamentals, Act 2 intermediate, Act 3 advanced. The fundamentals portion is where we take the physiological cues you'll see in the various Mojos and ascribe to them descriptive names. And we like to use collaging for that purpose, where we have pictures of people and cues that we can point out. And this week it is?
We are working through the TV show timeline from 2005 through 2009, and we're going to start off with Doctor Who.
Sweet. Act 2 is the intermediate portion, which is the majority of our proof of concept experiment, and that is where the team has had a week to work on 5 to 10 samples, and they did under blind test conditions. Now we're coming together to see what the cohesion of accuracy is going to be, and the samples that were the most challenging for the team will spend some time reviewing. This week's samples came from Ben, and then also we're using Ben's sample in the advanced portion, which is where the team does a live read in real time, where they talk amongst themselves about what they're seeing until they finally get to their conclusion. And that is the same kind of mental dialogue that each person is having on their own inside as they're doing it. So that's really good for those who are trying to figure out how the process works. All right, let's go ahead and do introductions and get started. I am Nai G. Coach.
I am Jailene.
I'm Zai Neodemus.
I'm Naiji Mitchell.
I'm Naiji Ben.
This is Naiji Glenn.
Jai Bruno.
Sweet. All right, take it away, Jailene.
Okay, great. So I will screen share the TV show timeline with everyone. There you go. I'm going to blow it up. Good. So we're going to do round robin rotation, starting with Coach. For our first turn, reading out a castmate, we'll call out a cue for that Mojo, and then any time there's a new gender Mojo, we'll also call out a cue for them. So now, Coach, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thank you. Doctor Who, the further adventures of the time-traveling alien adventurer and his companions. The Doctor, over 1,000 years old, travels through time and space in a blue phone box and is rarely seen without his companions. This is the revived series of Doctor Who, which first aired in March of 2005, 38 years after the old series, which began in 1963 and ran up until the 1990s.
Niazi Christopher Hecklestone as Doctor Who number 9. Okay, let's see. We'll call out the Jai. He has Niazi.
Gotcha.
The Jai. So he has Niazi have Jai as their emotive resonator, and that gives their mouth an unaware expression with more emphasis on their lower lip.
Zaini David Tennant as the Doctor number 10. Okay, so Zaini have something called a localized G mouth. So that means, well, they have G, so that means that their emoting is going to be aware. Like you could see on the picture on the right, even though his mouth is closed and it may not seem like he's overtly smiling or giving some kind of direct expression, you can see that there is an aware energy in both the way that his eyes and mouth kind of sync to connect to the person. On the left, he's doing more of overt, connective kind of smile.
Zaini Matt Smith. So, as a Zaini, he's going to have knee dancing eyes. So his eyes don't really have this kind of camera lens quality you'd see with a V Mojo. They have more of a diffuse, like they're kind of like laughing sort of quality, they sometimes say. And also, because they're secondary knee, because the knee is tandem, the cooling will go into the eyes, and so you're going to see the eyes don't pop out as much as the mouth does, and they have like a veil of neutralization over them.
Nice.
Designing Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. Another thing you'll see in Ziny is they have Vi Concern as their offside power. Well, they'll have Ni Dancing Eyes beneath the Zai veil covering the entire face that Mitchell mentioned. They will also have a distinct signal of concern in the eyes. However, unlike the Zai and the Ni, it will have an altered state modulating quality.
Nizai Billy Piper, and so with Nizai, you can see that they have they have Ni as their source power. So you can see in both pictures, they have it has like this dancing quality, laughing quality to it. Although she seems to be more momentum here, so she's got a lot of Zai going on as well. That makes her seem more unflappable. But unlike a Ziny, her eyes are actually going to pop out more so than her mouth area, and the eyes are also unhooded.
Vijay Karen Gillian. As a Vijay, she will have a perception lead, laser eyes as her primary signal, as a primary feature, and an amped signal as her primary distinct signal. On the right, on the right there, you can see a very clear perk up and drinking in, momentum, perk up and drinking in. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nicholas Briggs is pending, but he is a Ni Alpha. I'm trying to narrow down which one it is. But you can see both of them. The dancing eyes are the one on the left. He's being a little more serious. He's in his tower there. But still, you see the drinking in. So dancing eyes, but working on the rest of it.
Ziny Arthur Darvel.
Vijay Jenna Coleman.
Vijay Freema Adjaman? Should I pronounce that?
Nizy, Catherine Tate's. Nizy's new, or Nizy female's new. You can see that in the picture on the right, she has a very distant, cunning-eyed look. And you can also see Zhai unaware mouth below the midline of the face, along with cool Z anvil cheeks, which you do not see with Z users who do not have Z as their one of their momentum powers, nor do you see it with Zai users.
Nice.
In the upper cheeks, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, you do. Never mind. I'm thinking of emoting. For all Z users, you see that.
You're making a good point. What you're actually referring to?
What I'm referring to is only Z in the upper cheeks, as opposed to having emoting going up there as well.
True, and also related to that, Ben, the point you're making is the weight. Is you can kind of see in both these.
Yeah, it's distinctly much like it feels very dense and heavy. You know, it's like
it's like lowering down on the lips. You see the Zhai radiating from the lip area, but there is a weight, a Z like anvil coming down that predominates as compared to like say a Zhai Ni or a Ni Zhai.
Yeah.
Like the Z active listening, their mouth will be radiating more. You can feel it lift. The Zhai is like radiating, like lifting with heat. Here, there's a cool weight. You can feel the curtaining. Upper lip. On both these, you see the upper lip, and she's in momentum there. And there's a good amount of Zhai in her lip, like she has her Zhai activated. But that upper lip, baby, you can feel like a bit of a weight. Not as much as, say, a Zenai or a Zai Ni, but still, it's heavier. There's a bit more Z curtaining weight.
Nizy Camille Kaduri.
Naiji Noel Clark. So as a Naiji, he will have a distinct signal of cunning, um, which can be seen in the cunning eyes. That in both pictures you can pretty clearly see it. It basically gives a signal. It basically gives the impression that he's sort of looking through the person, situation, environment into sort of a deeper meaning, more abstract, more of sort of a summary, I guess you might say, or like a story version of whatever it is that he's looking at, a condensed story, which is
Very good way of putting it.
yeah, which is I guess you could contrast it with Vi, which has which is also a story. I guess a different type of story, more concrete.
It's a worldview assessment. But this assessment, you're right, it's not looking like directly at things that are visible. It's more looking at how the story simulator is finding purchase in that person.
Yeah, it sort of is more expansive than Vi because Vi also isn't really looking at a concrete physical five senses thing, which would be V. It's more looking at Vi is it's more looking at a specific localized storyline,
Correct.
which makes no attempt to expand outwards to touch every other story. On the contrary, it seeks to contract inward.
It does in a certain way, and that's where the weight comes from, but it's more of a point to point to point to point, which is where that sort of steadiness comes in from it, is that Vi is not in real time, which is true, so it's looking at something. Both Nai and Vi are going to be getting information on it. That's what's heavy about it, is when it's looking at something, if the person can note it, they'll know they're being assessed. If the person is getting information on what am I looking at. Vi will go with a historical record. In this case, it'll go more with a story or a speculative record or understanding. But either way, there will be that assessment in the eyes, and that's where the weight comes from, and also in the boundary setting.
Nice.
That picture on the left is great, by the way. It's like so much momentum. Like,
Yeah.
And he's doing a Zai head tail at the same time.
oh, that's funny.
He's
Yeah.
looking off to the left there as well.
Yeah. He's got Naji, tactical. Nisha, Alex Kingston, is that new?
That is new.
All right, so we have as Anijai, she's going to be a jazz gatherer, and one of the things that the jazz gatherers are known for, which you see here, is the classic kind of chipmunk cheeks we often talk about, or I like to call it, seems more to me as like an apple. The Nijai face as compared to the Nizai has more of a wedge shape, and this is more of an apple shape, but they're similar in that they have more of a general rounderness or less elongation than a subjective mojo has. Particularly, you're going to see the swirling of the Zhai going up into the cheeks, but not into the eyes, and more energy in the lower lip area.
All right, Nizai John Burrowman. Nizai, let's see, he has those knee dancing eyes, that with that laughing quality that Mitchell mentioned. But unlike the Nizai, he has Ji as his emotive power, discernment power, and so you'll see this more of like there's this charm to Ji that comes with the fact that they're signaling to the audience a very aware message, but it only comes up to the midline of his face and it doesn't go into the cheeks.
Grey's Anatomy, a drama centered on the personal and professional lives of 5 surgical interns and their supervisor.
Jaini Ellen Pompeo.
That is new.
Oh, is that new? Interesting. Okay. So Jaini, like the Zaini in a lot of ways, they're going to have as value-based lead Mojo, the value-based expression and going all the way through the face, above the midline, and into the eyes. So her eyes are going to have this veil. Instead of a veil of neutralization, they have like a veil of poignancy. There's like an emotiveness, even though they're dancing eyes.
That warm tinting going on.
Yeah.
Right, Ben.
Oh yeah, Naiji Justin Chambers.
Jivai Chandra Wilson. And so we see here with the Jivai, they have the emoting power of Ji, which is their source power, and it goes all the way up the entire length of their face up to the brow line at least. And unlike a Ji Nai who uses Nai as their perception power, they use Vi, and it has more of like a concrete quality to it. It's got more of a pinched quality as well, and yeah, I mean it's different than the Nai because it has more of those literal compound qualities as compared to the eternal like Nai-like quality.
The one thing I use a lot when working the towers sometimes, like the pilots, is kind of noting that double perception relationship. Like, say for him here, that's good when he's Kiji. I don't take someone's turn, but I'll just say on hers, like I notice like the knee around it. Sometimes I actually know I'm seeing a Jibai as compared to a Jinai because of knee. It's weird. Like sometimes I guess I really have I innately look for knee in the world. So a lot of times I'm like, it's a G. I'll know it's a G Vi before I see Vi. I'll just see knee, and the fact it's G alpha. I'm like, it's a G alpha with knee. It's a G Vi.
Yeah, modulation can be really useful, I find. Like with a lot of these Vi alpha and Vi mojos and V mojos.
Definitely, obviously for their own peak pathway, but I do find as an interpreter that a lot of times
Yeah, I find it easier a lot of times to see the interpretive powers because it's more of my native language. I mean, I can see little powers too. It's just sometimes it feels more natural to me, you know.
Same here. It feeds me a bit more. It allows me to kind of get into the rest of them. I kind of find like, that's how I can relate, and then I see all of that.
Yeah, and then you can just complete the puzzle from there, right?
Yeah, it's a door.
I think maybe there's something to do with the fact that knee is also an objective power, so it's more in your face as compared to like the subjective power.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the pilots. I've often found like with G9, it can be sometimes easier to see the V.
Yeah, it's a halo. It's true because the 9 and the Vi, they're like the center there, and they're heavy. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of energy. It's very concentrated in the center there, whereas a lot of times the halo is easier to catch. Point. Stuff.
G9 James Pickens Jr. So as a G9, he'll have the unifield face, which is characteristic of all Zaz and Jez Alpha, and it means that in the case of the G Alpha, his face is very susceptible to any sort of emotional toning or coloring given by the mouth, which is his primary. It's going to be his primary feature that will sort of define the main the signals that he's giving off. So you see there on the left, his smile is. It's not particularly enthusiastic. It's just sort of a warm, friendly smile, but it sort of radiates all the way up his face, and you can sort of see the brow line crinkling in response to that smile. Even on the right, which is an even more localized smile, it's sort of noticeable all the way throughout his face, and even in the creases of the brow line, you can see some movement there.
One slight wording thing is what's the word that was used? Localized. Localized actually refers to when it is modulation, emoting. In this case, it would be he's doing slight. He's doing slight
Emoting.
Emoting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the ripples of the G for like a or the Jai of like a Jazz Alpha is gonna go more easily. Like even the fine little flexations, they move all the way up the face, even if it's a small kind of tone
Yeah, because
that they
actually,
might be feeling.
the math on that is that even a slight smile makes for non-localized activity in the face.
Yeah, and it's like
Far without much mouth area.
it can also be thicker, like denser. Like even though it's like not as like strong of an expression, it's like because of how high up G is, it still ends up being a really strong signal in terms of it being the whole face and just looking at any particular part of the face.
Sure.
Yeah,
The mouth area, you know how that pops first, etc.
yeah, it's definitely major momentum.
Genii, Patrick Dempsey.
Nisai Sandra O.
Jivai Sarah Ramirez.
Nice, Kevin McKidd.
Genii Eric Ding.
Nizai Jessica Capshaw.
Are they done?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn.
Genii Catherine Heigl. Is that new? Genii female?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so, as a Genii, she will have Nai as the secondary signal, which, as with the Nai-G, gives a cunning looking through the, the person, environment, or situation signal, but it will be secondary to the G, and so in both cases, you sort of um, in both pictures, you'll sort of see you'll see that manifest as a sort of I guess the word we use is helmet, a full-face helmet of G carrying, and from within that she's sort of peeking out, um, and it gives the eyes a sort of slightly more distant look as opposed to a perception lead.
Yeah, it's sort of like they're looking through their helmet, right? Sort of like it's sort of like similarly to like a tower, which is sort of they're looking through a veil. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's more active and more yang, obviously, than a tower, but it's a similar thing.
Yep.
Niji, Jesse Williams.
Nijai Kyler Lee.
Shiny Sarah Drew.
Shiny TR Knight.
That is new.
Oh wow. Okay. So shiny male or the shiny female. Basically, you have the same cues. He's we can do a different one though than the one I did last time. Maybe we'll do some. Okay, so the emotive expression that he has has an unaware quality. It's more focused. I mean, not on top of the fact that it goes across his entire face and into his eyes very, very readily. It's more focused on the lower lip, and it has like an expectant sort of quality to it, not an active, moving the audience quality. I think you can see it, especially in the right picture. It looks like he's like sort of his eyes like ready for like some kind of to respond to something.
Yeah, even the left one too. Actually,
I mean,
it's kinda like,
in the left one, somewhat, yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
He has like his knee like ready to like look at something, and his eyes like it's like slack, like ready to.
Yeah, he seems like he's very unawarely biting his lip there.
Holding space while his knees seeing what comes next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naiji, Isaiah Washington.
Naizi Kim Raver.
Nijai Kate Walsh.
Iron Chef, America the series, an Americanized version of the original Japanese TV series having to do with culinary competitions set in a TV studio where one chef competes against others for an opportunity to eventually receive the title of Iron Chef, which is a direct reference to being the very best in every area of the culinary fields. The number of chefs who can actually make this claim are very few and far between one another.
That's an interesting bubble.
It's like Voltron or like Power Rangers.
Lots of Nijai in this.
He's updated. He's Naiji, but there are a lot of Nijai in there. Five-player Naiji.
Oh yeah, exactly. I see. Have a Nijai up here.
This is a.
Just find the nearest Naiji and steal his tag.
And he goes this really like kind of zany educator.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it Adimus' turn?
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Okay, Nijai Mark DeCascos.
And that is new.
Oh, okay. All right, so as a Nijai, he has Jai is a second power. Okay, so what that looks like is an aware emotive expression, but they're values based, so it's going to be aware emoting that goes above the midline. If you look at the left picture, you can see that his emoting comes into the cheek, so kind of creating this apple cheek look. That's something that that both the Jez gatherers share. But the emoting doesn't go into the eyes, as he is a perception lead. As you can see, this emoting is unaware. It looks as if he's attempting to smile for a camera, but as you can see, it's a little bit awkward, a little bit kind of forced because it's unaware. Yeah.
Nice.
Nijai Kevin Brouch.
Naiji Bobby Flay.
Nijai Masaharu Morimoto.
That was good.
I was like wording it out.
Yeah.
Nijai Jeffrey Steingarten.
Nijai Michael Simon.
Naizi Kat Cora.
That picture to the right, she gives me Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm. Adimus, your turn.
Nijai Mario Batali.
I love how he's like wearing
Sausage
just
links.
like a prop, like.
I thought it was a scarf.
Nijai Ted Allen.
You're not kidding, but the Nijai.
Oh, a Zenai, Donna Tela Arpea, and Zenai's new, right?
It is.
All right. Zenai have cool anvil throughout their entire face, along with 9 cunning eyes in the eyes area. And what you'll see is the Nai cunning will be momentum, but it won't be as strong of a signal as you'll see with Nai alpha, for example. And likewise, you'll see that the V laser eyes are stronger than you'll see with Nai alpha, for example. But the Jai unaware emoting compared to Nai Z will be very localized. Like in both, it'll be localized, but here the Jai unaware emoting will only go up to around the lip line area as opposed to the midline or higher.
Oh, snap.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia. 4 young friends with big egos and slightly arrogant attitudes are the proprietors of an Irish bar.
It's not one slightly.
Are the proprietors of an Irish bar in Philadelphia. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because they're really arrogant, which is why it's funny.
I see. 4 egocentric friends who run a neighborhood Irish pub in Philadelphia try to find their way through the adult world of work and relationships. Unfortunately, their warped views and precocious judgments often lead them to trouble, creating a myriad of uncomfortable situations that usually only get worse before they get better.
Naiji Charlie Day.
Nige Glenn Howerton.
Nige Rob McKelney.
Jaini Caitlin Olsen.
Shiny Danny DeVito.
Is that you?
No.
Nope.
Nizai Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
Nige Jimmy
Oh, what's that?
Simpson.
I believe that's been updated. I think he's Jaini.
Oh, him.
Yes.
Ah, all right.
All right. So
Yeah.
Shiny Jimmy Simpson.
It's such a great job being eccentric. It threw me.
He does. Like,
Such a creepy.
Cool.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Nige Catherine Reitman.
Maureen Ponderosa.
And he's also been updated. Nizai.
Yeah, Nizai.
I had a feeling it was going to be me together.
And
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
there we go.
Good times. And it's per place to stop. He's that kind of salty Ni Alpha. Gotta watch out for them. Not be mistaken for Ni Alpha. Alrighty. And so you think, oh, that'd be good to start with next time. That'd be serious.
Mhm.
So you think you can dance?
We starting off with the centralists right off the gate. All right, so now for Act 2, which is the intermediate portion, the weekly quiz. Dun, dun, dun. Take it away, Darlene.
All right. Today's quiz samples come from Ben. So you'll go last.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. So requisite. First of the requisites is Psych Substance, YouTube psychedelic substance expert and educator. We'll start off with you, Bruno. Whenever you're ready, let us know what you guessed on Psych Substance.
I guess Nige.
Okay.
Yeah, I said Nige too. Although I'm not 100% sure about this case.
Ben?
Oh, you said go last.
Oh, sorry, duh.
Oh.
My bad.
It's okay.
I'm not following my own rules. Okay.
I think we didn't do that last time for me either. Anyways, I said Naishi.
I said Nijai.
I said Naishi.
And I said Nige.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think it was you and me on that one. It was Nijai.
Oh,
Ah.
He seemed like he had more rigidity in his
He's very good at just explaining things.
yeah. I
Like,
can't see
guys
that.
were
though.
very clearly dancing. I'm surprised it was Naiji so across the board.
I was too, just I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's very good at teaching.
yeah. But the calming energy I also felt was kind of like Jai warmness.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just a situation where, like, any number of unique experiences with different people can cause you to think that they riff off of.
But I guess we found our first thing we'll be visiting.
Yeah. All right.
We'll review that one.
Next one is Emmett Shear, CEO of Twitch TV. What'd you guess on him, Bruno?
Nige.
For me, I said Nizai.
Go with
I just, sorry,
Yeah, sure.
my microphone is muted. I had
no problem.
Anyway, I said Zaini.
I said Naiji.
I said Naiji. What'd you say, Ben?
I was between Nige and Vaiji. I went Vaiji.
Naiji.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Next, James Gosling, father of the Java programming language. What'd you guess for him, Bruno?
Nige.
Glenn?
I said Nizai.
Nizai, I said.
Nizai.
I said Nijai. What'd you
I said Nijai.
Nijai.
Oh man.
Nice.
say? Martin O'Donnell, video game composer for Myth, Oni, Halo, Destiny, games like that. What'd you say, Bruno, for him?
Nige.
Glenn?
I said Nijai.
Ben?
I said Nijai.
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 I said Naishi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Charlene.
No problem. I said Naiji.
That he was a toughie. He had the fuller face, but I believe it's Naiji.
I was worried about that.
Reminded me of Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good riff.
Last one of the requisites is J. Michael Tatum, English anime voice actor. What'd you guess for him, Bruno?
Naiji.
I said Nizai.
I said Nanshi.
I think he was the toughest on the list, but I said Nizai.
I said
Oh, that's
Saiki. What did you guess?
I don't know. He was tough. I was between the adserbs and Naiji. I went with Nizai.
What is the answer, Coach?
He was tough. I agree with whoever said that he was the toughest. He was the hardest for me. I had to take a couple looks at him because I got ad servers on the brain, but I believe it's an IG.
Yeah, I can really see that.
He had these angular cheekbones too, which made him tough as well.
I did thought they were going out the face. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me kind of like Ben Road, actually.
Yeah, I definitely got that.
And he was also kind of goofy. Like he had
that jawline. You see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He reminds me, like, he's an IG with kind of, like, really, he has kind of, more sheer features in certain ways, but he has, like, this really goofy kind of energy to him, where,
So we know
like,
the main
when he
character of
really
Steins' Gate is
smiles,
Is
like,
she?
you can really see the energy, I think.
That's what I did. What I finally helped me see through it was that energy you're talking about, Ben, is I started freeze framing when he would emote. And I freeze on emote, he'd have those kind of facial expressions that I was like, I was able to see it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times he kept his emoting a bit more down. He talked quick, but he didn't necessarily emote a lot fully up. So I had to watch it. He talked quick and was funny, but he did do that a lot. But when he did, you could see a bad kind of freeze frame.
And you know what? He actually, I'm a computer science major, and I interact with some people I think are Naiji, but perhaps have a lot of Zai, and he kind of reminds me of that in certain ways. The way he uses his emoting. Obviously, I mean, this guy probably has more of better G development in general, but certain aspects of that reminded me of that.
No, you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about because there's Naiji are used to being in those kinds of environments. They may even develop their G like he was, where he was talking a lot, holding the floor with his G. But he didn't let it overtake him a lot like you would expect, a G mode to be doing. Particularly when it does have it where he was able to talk quite well and to tell stories and to be funny. So he was throwing a lot of G out there, but he didn't let it overtake his cheeks much. It's kind of seen as in certain areas, particularly areas that have a lot of, say, ad serves, you can see it's maybe a little unseemly to do that in one's delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, into optional land. First one, I think Lucy?
Yep.
Christian? Okay. English anime voice actress. What'd you guess on her, Bruno?
Nijai.
Glenn? You're muted.
I said Nizai.
I said Nizai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai. What'd you say, Ben?
Oh, I said Nijai.
She is Nijai.
Nice.
Okay.
That's what she should be.
Okay, next, Marjane Satrapi, author of books like Persepolis. What'd you guess for her, Bruno?
Kaizi.
I said Nijai.
I said Nishai.
I said Naiji. Oh, sorry. I keep just jumping in randomly.
It's fine. It's fine. I passed anyway.
I passed on it as well, so yeah, that was fine. What did you say, Ben?
Oh, I said Naiji.
All right. She, for me, was the second toughest one.
Yeah.
I believe that's a Xenai.
Oh, yeah. I was considering that.
I was but I'm like, I didn't have the confidence. I'm like
She's hard.
cartoonist and author. I just haven't seen one like
And her
that
whole way of
before.
bearing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and really, like her autobiography is about like growing up in Iran in the 70s. So it's like it's a pretty unique kind of like story. The experience is like I actually read. I had to read her book for an English class I was taking last semester.
Mhm.
And she experienced like some of like the roughest like experiences like I've ever seen. So like it's really cool how she chose to write like this really kind of fun like a graphic novel but also painted a very real picture of what it was like at the time.
A few of these really badass Xenite ladies who've been in some incredible life circumstances, and they basically do journalism on their own life, which won't make sense because their life was incredible, and so is their kind of getting past the hurdles that most other humans don't have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. Next, Harry Enton, a senior political writer and analyst for the 538. Guess on him.
Naiji.
Glenn?
For me, I said Vaiji.
I said Zaini.
Passed.
I said Vaiji. What'd you guess, Glenn?
I said Vaiji.
Baiji it is.
He's a young Vaiji journalist. He kind of gave me that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next, Denny Baranowski, video game composer. What'd you guess?
Nijai.
Yeah, I said Nijai.
Nijai.
Adimus, did you guess on this one?
Nijai.
Nijai as well. Would you say? Bruno?
I said Nijai.
It is.
Okay.
I really like that picture where like he was holding the tarot card and had like this really like kind of angry expression on his face because like you can really see he's a Nijai. But,
Okay, the last one, George Closer, computer science professor at Saginaw Valley State University.
the university I'm going to. He's one of my professors. I didn't just randomly pick somewhere.
It's like someplace, like you never know.
I need to know what you are.
What's your guess, Bruno?
Nijai.
Glenn?
I said Nizai, but I think it might be Nijai.
I said Nizai as well.
Passed.
I said Nizai.
I said Nizai.
He was the third most tricky because he didn't vote a lot, but I think he's an Nijai. Also, the media wasn't the greatest. I was like, I almost thought about not doing him, but I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he's an Nijai. But he might be.
Yeah. That's why I put him. I considered not putting him on there because his meal wasn't that great. But you're saying it wasn't like soft read level. It was
No, I do think I was seeing Nijai.
Okay.
Okay, so first one, I guess, psyched substance. Who got Nijai on him? Was the Demas, right?
This guy.
You will.
This guy.
I do not promote the.
How-to streams. I love his video titles.
Legal or illegal substances. This video has been made for harm reduction purposes. Step 1. Get magic mushrooms. In countries like the USA, magic mushrooms are a Schedule 1 substance.
You know, he kind of reminds me of the dude from Vsauce a little bit.
In the Czech Republic or Spain, it is perfectly legal to grow your own. Regardless of
He's
which
not
country
moving
you live
so
in,
much in
these
this
mushrooms
video.
grow naturally all throughout the world. There are over 200.
My video is kind of frozen, so there's not a lot I can do with this here. But what kind of pops out is that he has the cherubic apply cheeks.
Which level?
Yeah, when he articulates, you can see it's not really moving. It's kind of just deadpan, informative.
Level 1. 0.7 to 1.5 grams of dried mushrooms. A mild stoning effect with visual enhancement such as brightening of colors. Music may sound wider. Level 2.
Yeah, sorry guys, my video is frozen. I can't really comment anymore.
Things start to move and breathe.
You wanna
Confused
step in
or reminiscent thoughts. Increase in creativity. Level 3.
Well, the other thing I'm noticing is he's being very academic, educating here. So he's holding still a lot of vice, but there's still a lot of bobble. It's tight. The bobbling is not moving much away from the neck, but he kind of keeps doing this. And it is side to side, not forward movement that you see more with the directives.
Wrong hallucination.
Were people thinking Naiji because
Yeah.
his lower lip is also showing more energy?
Things begin talking. Some loss of reality. Time becomes.
I think I was just thrown off. I was thrown off a little by his physicality a little bit for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people were thinking Naishui.
Yeah, he definitely is using a lot of Vi. He's in teacher mode here.
Yeah.
But there's still bobble, and it's just side to side. His eye contact also easily doesn't drop.
These levels are not like floors in a building. There are infinite degrees to each level. The word level is misleading.
It does make sense though. He's got like this very professional Z delivery right now.
Certainly feel where you are in your life right now.
That's what's really cool about his videos, because like it's very professional, but it's about like psychedelic substances and stuff.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
cool, you know.
And as Demas mentioned, there's like a warm, safe quality, a calming quality.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And he's talking about something controversial, but he makes it seem fun and safe.
Ever taking psilocybin mushrooms, I cannot recommend it. If it is your first time, plan to stay in. I would recommend 1 to
that's
2
cool.
grams
Like, make you
for a
feel safe.
first-time experience. Even if you
There's in one of the videos that he has his girlfriend with him who looks like she's probably a Naiji, and she referred to him like as her little Buddha, and it's like I can see why.
Nice.
lethargic and heavy.
Can you find that link?
To LSD, which
Maybe, let's see.
more energy and makes
Cool.
you feel lighter.
I might look at later in the
If you
reading
are in a
portion.
good place in your
Okay,
life,
let's go on to the next sample that was a little challenging.
bad trips
It's
can happen easier on
J.
mushrooms
Michael Tatum.
than on LSD.
Did anyone get J. Michael Tatum as Naiji?
I think at least 2 people did.
Okay. And Mitchell, did you get it?
For which one? Sorry.
J. Michael Tatum as a Naiji.
I did get him actually.
Okay. So you and Bruno will take me.
Surprisingly, I got him. Didn't get many samples on this quiz.
Good call.
Yeah. I landed on Naiji at first, then walked away from it.
Yeah.
I thought the main character of the show
Sorry, guys.
is an Aishi.
Yeah, me too.
I was like
Yeah,
looking for
I
a little bit.
wanted him to be a Naiji, but I don't know.
It's hard to call him a villain because he's trying to make good. He may or may not be given the chance to do so.
Yeah.
Certain people
Just that it's
can
very
pull
like.
out
That's
with-
natural refrain, isn't it?
Just
Mhm.
saying, not pointing any fingers.
Just
Yeah,
the
I actually
Directly.
landed on Subrom right
this
away.
little
I
face.
didn't really even consider Nizai.
Well, I actually think he's rather
I was
like.
considering like Shiny maybe because there are a lot of Shiny voice acting, but his emoting is where I think some people were guessing Nizai,
I would-
so they did guess that. But like right there, that emoting that is going up
It
above the
is,
line with face
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and he's also directive, so he's got that tautness, that tensioning,
Mhm.
which was bugging me. I was like, his shoulders seem like they're so tense, but I thought
And one thing
maybe
you'll
these-
see, like when you look at like the Nizai voice actors, is they are gonna have these like big knee dancing eyes too.
my
Like they're gonna have these freeze frames with that, with the drinking in stores.
That's nice.
And he's just always refrained. He never really does that like source drinking in.
When he disappeared, he urged me to follow the stage when I was a kid. And the very first thing I ever did on the stage was I put the hobby course. Tell us about it.
But he does definitely have a lot of Zai, like Ben and Coach were talking about.
That I
He almost he's so like a bigger kind of guy. You kind of I kind of wanted to say like Gene I for a little bit.
He has a bit of a broader face than some Naijis do.
Yeah.
He actually had stuttering issues when he was a kid, so he probably had some issues with his eye or something.
Yeah, I kind of got like a Charlie Cox riff, but then I was like, something's not quite right there.
I've got working with this actor.
You can really see it. I think his eyes, like, they really look cunning to me. I don't know, right now. Like, as I look back, like, that seems to be what can help as well. Like folks, the mowing might be kind of tricky, but the eyes seem more distinctly
Working there against
like,
my
easier to see.
until he came to love it, and now I do it full time. And I can't imagine myself.
That's what always helps me with when reading Naiji. It's like,
I really did.
Yeah, Glenn, what you said about Charlie Cox from Daredevil, that's really what helped me hone in on Naiji. Even though now he reminds me more of, like I can see the G in the secondary position. and it just reminds me of like the kind of G that like James Franco, for example, does, like with the big smile, big wide smile, and the knife-cutting eyes. But looking at pictures, I at first thought I was seeing a riff of Quentin Tarantino, just because the pictures look so much different.
So the cool thing
This week I tried something different. Instead of just looking at pictures, because I had a lot of time this week, I looked at pictures, wrote down my guesses, and then I went back and looked at the videos. And I did a lot better than I had done when I was just doing videos or just doing pictures. Doing pictures first helped me get a lot better impressions. And he was, and I definitely got a strong Nizai impression from his pictures. But then when I saw the videos, I was like, definitely not Nizai. Definitely not Quentin Tarantino, at least. And yeah, and then Charlie Cox definitely helped, but he's a Jinai, so I had to take that into account.
cover things about myself in the process.
One Naiji with glasses I thought that looked a little bit like him was actually on a quiz of mine in the past, an author named Christopher Paolini.
And it's literally what brought me back into that. Such a touchstone for me.
It's an Naiji, also has glasses. Has a similar shaped face.
Voice acting brought me back into the fold. So now I get to do what I love again. There are differences. It depends on the project. A lot of times, for example, with dubs.
Yeah. Good on this one?
We have one or two more to look
I
at.
think so.
It's the other one.
I think sure, I know that.
Oh, what that dude who Bruno said riffed off of Craig Ferguson? That was what was his name?
Craig,
Martin,
yeah.
Martin O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Which one?
Martin O'Donnell. How many people got that one right?
I got it. Bruno did. So,
Did not.
So you two can take lead.
I think a lot of people said Nijai for him.
Yeah.
Guy?
He's Naishi, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I almost even wanted to say like Shiny for.
I know you passed.
Old.
Yeah, those Naishi composers do get in there.
Marty is king in the audio department. It's his gig. It's his engine. Or he pushes a coffee cup around the studio really well. How does it work in what the heck is
Kind
that?
of riffs a little bit of like George Lucas too, in a way.
And is that it?
Yeah, he's another Naishi. They're pretty like broad, sort of.
I want it to
He
sort
riffed
of
the
Needs some, like, shorter digits.
them so they're overlapping and
a
layering.
lot of the Naishi
And
composers.
This will all
So
eventually
those look
correspond to something
wizard,
significant that's happening in the game.
tension, and the rest.
So I have lots of different kinds of pieces of music. I have pieces that I call glue that are just
Yeah, he
kind
has
of
this wizard look to him.
ambient, swishy sounding pieces.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's just that shiny baby quality a lot of the composers have.
like on this next piece,
Seem kind of
the piece.
more
Yeah,
adaptive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're enjoying their experience.
Yeah, when I
Oh no, Bruno, you're cut off.
when I looked at pictures, I immediately got Craig Ferguson. But then when I saw the videos, I really had to fight the urge to turn into a Nijai because of the energy and the shiny baby thing. But I was like, no, the pictures are definitely riffing of Craig Ferguson, so I'm going to stay with that. And yeah, for the most part, actually, that went pretty well this time. I changed Psych Substance from Nijai. I had him as Nijai at first from the pictures, and then I switched him to Naiji. But that was the only one that I switched wrong. I think every other switch that I did was correct, or failing to or not switching, as was the case here.
Good.
Yeah, I find pictures and video, you need both to counterbalance each other, and to do like a quick look and then come back to it, and like your main look, and then like a second look after your main look. That's like a good rhythm I found.
Yeah, and it's cool to know.
Sorry, Ben.
It's cool to know like when you make your switches and why you make them. Like because that's usually pretty important when reading a person. Because like you'll have your initial impression, but then there'll be like layers of like other considerations you'll have, as the read goes forth.
Yeah, thing I watch for is like knowing their profession. Like if I can tell what their profession is, like the voice actor, that immediately made me think of Quentin Tarantino, even though he's a Nigerian.
I don't think this is video footage.
No, this does not look like.
It looks like a gameplay video.
Yeah.
Where he wins a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what this is? Oh, okay. There's these YouTubers who play like first-person shooters and then talk about various subjects that are going on and gaming and whatnot. So this is probably just some dude playing a game while talking about Martin O'Donnell.
Nice.
So.
Hey, Tina Wood here with Inside X.
This goes back to
All right.
19
So yeah.
Good footage, though.
Nice
started
stuff.
working.
So his eyes reminded me of Benedict Cumberbatch. His eyes, that like.
Always played games. And I wanted to see if
I don't know. It has a cunning.
Actually working on games, and I had been threatening to.
It has
come
a
up
certain
Spokane
quality
work
to
with
it.
Robin and Rand Miller.
A little bit like laughing. It's like it's laughing, but not me laughing. It's like laughing that it knows more than you do.
Yeah, like a shiny baby, but like very cunning and very
Amused shiny baby.
amused shiny baby. But Fumasta also, like
Yeah.
Amused.
Yeah.
Sit around and play us one of your favorite
Yeah, there
games.
seems aware she
Okay.
doesn't.
No, you're right. You're right. That's the flavor of the amusement is it's a Fumasta amusement.
We are Flintstones kids, 10 million strong and growing. We are Flintstones kids, 10 million strong.
Yeah, tension.
Oh, very nice. You're hired.
Wow. It's such a
Yeah, but he
great
has a
thing
lot
that
of
we've all
shiny
heard
baby.
about, but what's so funny,
Yeah.
I did the Flintstones kids
As a
the
delighted,
Halo
like,
soundtrack. So, well, let's talk about how you went into
childlike.
the original Halo soundtrack, how you created that. Were you given the gameplay? How does that process work?
Well, let's see. This goes back to 1998 after we finished.
Yeah, he has
Soul Blighter.
caring
We were
that's
starting-
coming
Budgie
from
was starting
up
to
to
work
his
on
cheeks,
another
but
game.
his eyes are
At that
like
point,
locked
codenamed
in,
Lamb.
like a hunter.
And it actually had another code name, Monkey Nuts, but Jason didn't want it to do what the code name was, so we named it Blam. And I was working only on the
You
sound
guys
design
good
and-
with him?
That sounds pretty good.
Actually, as opposed to Nijai,
Take a quick look then at the last one.
George
Corsair.
Corsair.
I sure wouldn't mind looking.
What's that, Mitchell?
Nothing. I was just agreeing with what was going on.
Okay. George Corsair. Who got him as Nijai? You're not? Oh, take lead. George Corsair. Let's see. I think I'll have to go to the forum and pick up those interviews because they're not showing up readily. All right.
Anytime
Okay, so this guy.
you double the numbers, 2 to the n plus 1. Whatever, and 2 to the n is 2 to the n plus 1. It works when you are having to take half of it.
Oh yeah, I can really see it now.
Yeah, the mouth definitely seems slack.
That's going to be a lot.
I mean, I wasn't sure, I guess, between Nizai and Nijai, but
This amount is a lot.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between both knee gathers as well.
Yeah.
I just kind of like, I didn't see emoting that really looked like it was going up very high in his face, and I was like, I don't like it, but I feel like Nizai might be the better choice to go with, but the mouth always looked unaware to me, and I was like, what's going on here?
his mouth movements actually remind me a lot of Infiniti in the way that
Oh yeah, I totally get that, bro. Yeah, that's what I thought of when Coach said he was Ninja. I'm like, well, maybe Infinito would be good for it.
Yeah, Infinity and also coffee shop. One of the baristas.
Oh yeah, I don't forget.
Oh, well, we wouldn't know
I
that.
don't know what his name,
Yeah.
but we don't talk about it. He worked there, not the owner, but he worked there.
Yeah.
His name is Coffee Shop.
Coffee shop, dude, great stuff, dude.
The coffee shop Nijai, dude.
One of those.
Good stuff.
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Charlie speaks my vague lingo.
Like he's very relaxed with the Z. Like he doesn't do a lot of Z like clamping down. Like I naturally clamp down a lot. So like my mouth is very rarely slack, but I can sort of identify even if I don't give off the same kind of vibe. Like he's very loose and free with the slackness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a lot of Z. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
In the articulation, but
Really good at academics.
Right. Is
Yeah.
more the speaking, not the holding the face still.
Yeah. And you get confused 'cause he's like not emoting.
It's more with articulation than it does with neutralizing.
Yeah. It's just like he's not emoting, but he's not emoting because he's articulating.
Yeah, and you can see what he's doing on the board. He's doing logic stuff. So
He just did like a sigh right there. That seemed very shy to me. I just noticed.
Size, and also there's like a general kind of like a slight warm moaniness. You can hear independence and such. Again, kind of like safe. Like it's math. Math's okay. Math's our friend. You just gotta do it right. You're like, okay.
It all makes sense.
I feel like there are a lot of like teachers and professors like that out there. We don't have a whole lot of media, but
Are we all good?
I think we're ready to tackle this group.
yeah, I think we're good. I can.
I was
start
hoping
the-
maybe we could look a little bit at the Xeni female, if that was.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was really tough. Wow.
Sure, yeah, we have a few minutes. Why not?
She was like-
Marjane Perception.
Oh yeah, in fact, I probably should have gone to that next. I forgot about her. Yeah, that's a really good one.
For some reason, I'm not able to load any videos with her name. Can you guys? Cause
I can grab some media if you need, unless
I saw a
someone
lot
else
of
already has it.
yeah, thank you.
I think most of you were actually where I was, which was I think some different ones mentioned Naiji guessing. I think most of you were guessing Nijai. That's where I was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was guessing Nijai.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that Sheik's moved. I think she has really good Jai and Nai.
That's true. Yeah.
What helped me was the force of her jutting and its frequency.
I thought she looked strange to me, I have to admit.
Like that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, she has more of that like heavier jaw quality. I think that pilots tend to have.
And even when she's doing her Jai waiting here, her cheeks are still quite ambly.
Looks
I
like
was trying to compare her with like Zaha Hadid, that architect female.
Yeah, I thought of that too, but she's just an
Very
Nijai.
slightly good Jai, but that jutting is very strong.
Yeah.
But her eyes seemed a little odd to me. They really did.
yeah.
I consider Naiji, so I could see where Ben was going with that too.
In a strange way, she kind of reminds me of Jank Yuger, a little bit, I think.
Yeah. She also reminds me of is it Salima? Salima something? She's Egyptologist that actually works with Zahi Was a lot. You'll see him sometimes on the History Channel together. Can you look her up? Salima? That's what helped me, by the way.
Oh.
History Channel.
Oh, that was really my answer to the word, because the 2 times that I left Iran in '84 and in '94, I heard so many
That's her.
crazy things about like.
Salima Ikram.
She was the riff that helped me. Very elegant, good warm Jai, but just a strong brightness to her. And it's that forward head movement. Oh, you know what's got me too, Darlene? You might know her. She actually is Jinai, but Jinai helped me see that she was a pilot, Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is Jinai, but then you see it, you see they actually share something.
So that was the beginning. How I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like seeing the directiveness and the Nai and the V because of the Naiji when I was looking at when I was considering that, and but then I was like noticing Z. I was doing objectiveness. I was like, they're both right in their own way, but they're not the answer.
Yeah, I think we just weren't expecting to see it, and also she has a lot of Nai and Jai development, which we, like I said, some of the other kind of Egyptologists and academic, because it's different than, we've noticed that some say Nai and Jai development in several of the Xeni pundits, But this is a different kind. It's a different kind of strong Nai and Jai development. It's more, I don't know, academic or of an
Like
author.
literary, I would say, more than just academic, because like she's not doing science. She's doing
Right, that's good.
like
That's
personal expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, good word, Mitchell.
More artistic too.
There are a few other
Yeah,
ones of those on Maya's quiz, Maya the Bee, a while ago.
You see some of like the Xenai pundits who actually are for like marginalized causes, and they tend to actually have a lot of Nai and Jai and be slinky, but it's different. It's different, not quite the same.
Yeah, she's actually got quite a bit of V. I get a playful vibe from her at certain points as well.
Yeah,
Too.
she has great Sanamya overall.
I thought her energy was very different, but it was like cool in a way.
No, she'd be good. She'd be good having
Very
a team.
strong, yeah. Very strong.
Yeah. Very interesting.
We're doing that one. Then let's go ahead and get into it for us. Act 3, the live read.
All right. So we're going to be reading David Matrenga, I think is how you pronounce it. He's another anime voice actor. He plays the protagonist in Clannad.
Oh yeah.
Can you type?
I'll send the media. I've already canvassed.
Oh, he plays the main male character. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he plays the protagonist. Yep.
We already did the female one, right? The
Yeah,
female one?
Nagi's
In this quiz, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, in this quiz.
Yeah, Nijai.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, and it's for the.
Hey everybody, it's David Matrenga. I'm an anime voice actor, and I'm just here to talk to you guys about Anime Ohana in Hawaii. I'm going to be there this coming fall, October 9th through 11th. It's at the Pagoda Hotel in Honolulu, so you should all come and check me out. Just for some of you that may not know,
he's good at pitching.
Started
Seems
quite
kind
a
of
while ago. I'd rather not say how many.
You're reading G.
Sort of emotive expression seems like. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm seeing the upper lip being activated.
I
think I see that too, actually. Even though he does have like a bigger, fuller bottom lip, I think the upper lip is more popping out.
Active.
yeah.
Active, yeah.
Let's see how you guys.
Eyes also pop out quite a bit too, I'm noticing.
Have some fun.
In just 2 pictures, you can see that his eyes are very, very strong.
Yeah.
The discount code is Clannad. I played.
Yeah, for me, he seems like I've been considering Nai Z and Nai Ji and Ji Nai the most, like those kind of directive males you see a lot in movies and TV shows.
So the Nai Ji, Nai Z, and the
Ji Nai.
Ji Nai. Okay, so the Nai alpha leads, the Nai mojo
I
leads.
think I'm seeing his cheeks being activated when he smiles. Yeah, but you have another video for him?
Oh yeah, sure. I've more videos. Yep.
Great.
That video didn't even play for me.
Didn't even play for you, Demas?
Oh, by the way, can you just post the link in case
Yeah, I
that
think-
happens again?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Now you know what it feels like, Ademus.
Oh, the struggle is real.
It is. That's a very fun intro right there.
What's up, guys? This is Aperture 115, and I am here with David.
How's it going? Yep.
Awesome. All right. So, my first question is.
He's looking straight at him, like very dialed in.
Oh man, since probably 20,
Yeah.
25 maybe. I started in.
Even though they're not moving, something about the way his hands are clasped looks kind of rigid to me.
Yeah.
Smart camera.
Yeah.
Looks very tight.
For voiceover and then.
Actually, his entire upper body sort of reminds me of the other voice actor that we just read, the Naiji.
It was.
Yeah.
The first experience was.
J. Michael.
It it was you really had to get into the mind of Toya and the.
And he looks away a
experience that he
lot
had with
as
his
he's talking,
father
like
and,
he
what
to
his circumstances
think
were.
that he
No one understands
seems more
why he
native,
was
and
the way
then comes into
why
lock-in
the way he is,
at the
you
very
know.
end.
So I mean, I had a great time. It's one of those like really human stories
It seems
that
more
you
subjective.
just. As an actor, it's a delight to work on stuff like that. So it got challenging when there
Yeah,
was.
this picture that I just posted.
Really had to.
He normally looks very like professional and serious, and I mean I would say cunning in most of the pictures, but this one he's like sort of doing a very friendly like emoting that you can see, and it just seems much more relaxed than he normally appears for pictures. So to me, it looks more like relaxed G rather than like Stonewall Zai, which is what he normally seems to be doing. Makes it difficult to read.
Wonder if anything was.
Seems actually a little bit of a Seth MacFarlane for some reason, like that.
Interesting. He reminds me of Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, I have a.
Oh yeah.
Is David Matranga
Seth MacFarlane.
More around
or at David Matranga 1.
He's an interesting movie.
David Matranga actor.
He's got like the more longer,
Matranga's Wolfman or something based on.
but also like thicker kind of
Yeah, so
frame.
on that we'll have
The other dude I think is Anisha. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, the other dude
I'm not
I
even
could
reading
go that
him.
direction, probably. And I actually have 2 more interviews.
Cool.
So we can do. I'm not sure. I think.
Calvin Harris. That's what he reminds me of. Calvin Harris, the EDM musician. He does the same kind of like smirking and serious stone facing. Here, here's the link.
With David Matranga.
Yes. Hi. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. It's great to have you here with us. How did you get started in the world of voice acting?
And he is Naiji.
I was doing a lot of stage work, and I thought to myself, I want to diversify my talent. How can I do something else that would I could make more money doing, and that would utilize
There's
sort of
tension
what I already
there,
thought
there's
was my
risks.
ability to do
Definitely.
and dialects, accents, things like that. And so I started
You
in
have
the
sort of
world
a
of
hunch
commercial voiceover, you know,
going?
radio and television voiceover. And
You know, he actually reminds me of Zachary Levi.
but into anime and voice acting,
Yeah.
I kind of did. I had an agent, and they called me and said, "You've got an audition for a cartoon." And I thought, "What do you mean a cartoon?" And they didn't know either. They were like, "I don't know, it's some animated thing." And that was for Orphan, which I did forever ago, and that was the first audition I ever had. It was back when we had paper scripts, and so I got that role as a lead role of 50 episodes, and I've been doing it ever since.
Right. So what are your
Yeah, he
thoughts
has
on your
a
trip
little,
to Ohio? And you're an Ohio con.
not high strung, but a
Honestly,
little
it's been
nervous
amazing.
energy.
I said this to several
He
of the
hides
other
it well
guests.
most of the time, though. But you saw it during in the pause
Ohio
while
Con,
she was looking for
it's a
question.
big con. A lot of people.
Yeah, that's a good cue to point out, actually. The nervousness.
Yet it still has the
You
feel.
can definitely see that he's a little bit more like that here.
And
I think he feels a little bit more vulnerable for some reason.
line.
Maybe because behind him things are going on, he doesn't know what's going on, what it is. Or...
So many.
Yeah. It's a lot of
attendees
stimulus, and you have your back
guests and
turned
great
also to
events.
people.
Yeah, to the stimulus, which makes you feel even more vulnerable, I think.
It's been a great time so far.
Awesome. And you,
You might be thinking, like, do I need to move out of the way? I don't know.
drama to help you move forward in career.
You know, that's a.
Is anyone
hard
thinking anything
answer, and
else
it's a
other than?
long answer, but the short
The
answer.
only other emoji that I was considering was the knee's eye, but I don't think that is.
Probably the biggest other consideration I have is Nai-Z, I would say.
Nai-Z?
Yeah, because there are actually a lot of, like, I think more Nai-Z in voice acting than Nai-G or Jinai.
Yeah, but
having
like that
ownership
picture
over
that
my
you saw,
own
even that Bruno posted,
craft or
like when he
talent
smiles,
or
it goes into.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, yeah, and I do agree. I'm just
And
somewhere in the back of my head. I'm just trying to make sure that that's not the case.
and also Sean Schemmel, he kind of like
how to work.
I'm imagining him, and then I'm like thinking about how his cues look, and it doesn't look the same as
It's invaluable to me. I mean,
what I'm seeing with David.
I was, you know, most people that get into those schools, you know, are
So demoting, yeah.
but I'm such a different actor after having gone there. I mean, it's great training.
All right. Let's see. Tell us about your career in stage work.
You know, I started doing plays when I was in 4th grade. My mom, I always tell this story, but my mom was teaching summer school one year. She's a teacher, music teacher all my life. And so she said, I don't want to pay for childcare this summer, so you have to take summer school, you and your sister, and you can take whatever you want. And I chose drama class, basketball, and cooking. And there's still things that
Is there anything else? Anyone else?
So I started on stage, and then kind of took a break in middle school, and then found it again in high school.
I feel pretty confident in IHG.
And,
Yeah, we're already about.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Not 100% confident, but I think Naiji might be.
Can we maybe see the last video? Because this one we've already gone.
Oh yeah, sure thing. We can. I believe there's one more.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll post the link.
They were saying it's a really big con. You know, it's got a lot of people, but it has such a mellow feel to it. So it's an interesting line to walk. Of, you know, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot going on.
I feel like I'm seeing Hunter Hunch a little bit.
Atmosphere. So
His voice also has that, what seems to me, at the butter
started
baleful sort of spectrum, but not the full roaring voice that you would hear with Alpha. But you can still, it's still a lot. Sounds like movement.
Was like working on 5 centimeters per second.
You know, that's one of those ones that, you know, I tend to get cast in those kind of roles where it's
Yeah, it sounds more throaty as compared to like
lost
chesty.
love or lost connection.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about my voice that kind of naturally has that in it, but someone who's introspective and grappling or searching with stuff. So, you know,
So that's what. That's your inner voice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about my voice. I can describe my soul or something, but I don't know what it is.
You know,
Well, we don't know that for sure just yet.
yeah, that's true.
about the
Speculating. We're
what if,
speculating.
you know, what if we connected in a different way? What if we had met each other at a different time, or, you know, timing, and how if you
Low viscosity, I think, in the chest string.
or
Yeah.
you know,
I'm not seeing anything that
question
like
your
is
life,
deviating me
question
from, you know,
your
the
choices,
track I'm on
and
right now.
I just think that's
Yeah.
all stuff. So
See the same
anytime I get to
patterns
work
repeating
on something where I can
themselves.
tell a story like
Yeah.
and kind of
I feel comfortable calling it.
you know,
You
something
guys
that
decide to want to do that.
one way, shape, or form we've all struggled with.
Okay, we'll start off with you, Bruno. Where did you land on this?
Naiji?
Yeah, I'm thinking Naiji, Nizai as good as a backup for second.
Ben? Oh,
Naiji. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I already said it.
sorry. Mitchell?
Naiji. Naiji.
I'll go with Naiji.
He is Naiji. We have time for another one, I think. We go down.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
So he was channeling his inner person. Yeah.
So we're going to be reading Jill Stein, who is who's the I believe is the 2016 Green Party candidate running. Considering voting for this person, so I should probably.
The lesser of two evils.
Bye.
Looking at the obvious, the Green Party candidate.
We have Could you put up the link when you get a chance, Ben?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't been doing a good job of that.
And no.
That's very little of any chance.
So
Why
the
are
lady
you
on the
running again?
right-hand side, I
You know,
assume.
I think you could say the average American
Yes.
has very little chance taking that
Seems
approach.
warm.
If you look at what polls show, about 25%
Larry King is a Baiji, just for some context.
31%
Just poise.
identify as Democrats. This is really a
Whatever
small
that
portion
means.
of the electorate. And actually about 60% are calling for an independent third party because the Democrats and Republicans do not represent ordinary people. And we know that from the crisis that we're in, the crisis of jobs, with 75% of the jobs created now being low-wage, part-time, temporary, insecure. 40 million young people.
There's this tone in her
millennials who are in
pleading.
debt,
I don't know what
in
it is
college
yet,
debt,
but
without a real opportunity to repay that debt because the good jobs aren't there to do that. 1 out of 3 African Americans who are held hostage by the prison industrial complex and the prison state. So to surrender to the control by the corporate Wall Street sold out political parties is to say that this is okay. And let me add to that, for the latest climate news, a study just came out yesterday, published by the leading climate scientist, Jim Hansen, saying that within 50 years we're going to see at least...
Are you guys seeing Anvil by any chance?
Climate change is accelerating.
I think I am.
We don't have a lot of time to turn this around. The two parties
I'm kind of leaning right now
in their fundamental
kind of
policies,
Zinai
their
or
trade
Nishai
agreements,
myself.
like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, NAFTA on
Yeah, I think she does have good emoting.
What's the second one you said, Jilene?
Zinai and Nishai.
Policies, Obamacare and Romney Care.
Just because the pictures, but
they're
yeah, she does have a lot of good emoting. I'm not so sure
I've
about
been playing a lot of consideration in the Baiji myself.
Baiji, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'm entertaining the idea of IG, but right now I'm kind of leaning more on one of the Z-mojos, like Sinai.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
program
Sarah Palin is a Z-Vi?
that will create 20
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
that transition us
She's
to
more local, I think.
and 100% clean renewable energy,
Whatever that means.
revive the economy at the same time that it turns the tide on climate change.
Her
which
eyes
is
keep
becoming a
popping up.
catastrophic
I wonder
problem.
They do.
Like, and she
Democrats and
keeps doing
Republicans
like
have
doing
created
these
this
rises. I'm trying to
proven
figure
Yeah, a lot of perk ups there, huh?
will actually fix it.
Seems like
and we'll begin to do that immediately as an
I'm trying to
emergency
see if
program.
it's like momentum or if it's
and
like
it
the
builds
perk
on
up
the New
of a
Deal
directive,
that got us out of the Great Depression.
or even
It's
like
not
the perk
science
up
how to
of
do
a
this.
directive.
It's government
I
created.
feel like she's like jutting when she does it.
Put it this way, we've had big stimulus packages right
Maybe.
now. We have an ongoing stimulus
I don't know. I
package.
feel like I'm seeing like a reincarnation of Hillary Clinton or something.
War and
It's not a bad riff.
we need to
But she's,
shift
yeah, she
those
seems warmer to me, which is why I'm trying
also, likewise,
to.
we have a huge
Yeah, that is true. She might just have more Jai in her game, although I don't want to say exactly.
our dollars where they count. Supporting small businesses, supporting worker-based, community-based cooperatives, and
her voice
providing
is also
government
more like
jobs
softer,
where
which is why.
jobs are not otherwise available. But we can do this through creating a diverse, just, and green economy.
I don't think I see any emoting going above the midline, though.
Well, look at this picture. Tell me what you think. This
Bernie
We have many things in
I'm
common.
trying to find like apple cheeks.
Is
This,
that
the one that I
running in a
just
party
put
that
up.
actually supports that.
I'm not able to
He's running in a party
Oh, hold on.
at the end of the day.
Maybe she's a nice age.
Just be that
he
she's
will
could be a Z9
support
with
and
a
endorse and
shy.
work for
She has good
whatever
shy.
corporate
But it
Democrat
seems
wins
like a
in
little,
this
like it
corporate
seems like it's
control
going into the
process.
cheeks, but it may
He's
just
one
be.
in a long
I don't think that's so clear cut in that picture.
No.
It is. It's some of these. Some Zez Alpha. They just have like those smiles, you know, that look really big and like they're. And
That is a very warm smile, though.
So this picture,
like, no doubt about it.
yeah, this picture that I just posted is very interesting. it seems to me to say perception lead. Like she just seems to have a sort of a knowing look. And
Perception lead?
Yeah, it seems like that to me, at least in this picture. I'm wondering, has anyone said Naiji as a possibility?
For either of the Ni Alpha? I mean, I considered Ni Alpha.
I'm considering maybe Ni Z because people are saying possibly Zinar or Nijai.
For me, I'm seeing a lot of Z in this picture. With the jaw, it seems very angular, it seems very angular.
Yeah. I feel like the cheeks are what calls my eyes the most. Not so much the eyes.
Alright, yeah.
I'm kind of drawn to look down to the bottom half of her face, not so much the upper half.
Yeah.
It looks more helmet.
Yeah, I agree that I'm definitely drawn to the cheeks.
It looks like a cool helmet of bracing to me. I don't know.
Off the other debates, we might do that again. But you filed a lawsuit to get on the major debate. How's that going?
It's going well. And it has been fine.
Yeah, and that picture Jalene sent, it looks like a very warm smile, but it really looks like a Zenai could have made that smile, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
It's the intensity. It can come from any mojo as far as the emoting goes, but how easily and readily it goes up the face, that's based on what mojo you are.
Yeah, and Hillary Clinton is a good reference because she's a Zenai female who has a decent amount of shy emoting.
And one opponent. It's
gesturing
that
is
one
maybe
opponent was actually the.
It looks like she's.
This emoting does look unaware. Like I'm strongly trying to juxtapose it with Vaiji to see if there's a case there, but the emoting does. I'm leaning strongly on unaware.
I also don't hear a croaking like the Vi drone. Like I don't hear a droney quality to it.
Yeah.
Cold, Larry.
And I'm also not seeing like a pallor. Either.
You don't see a what?
A pallor.
We support the right to.
A what? One more time.
Like a pallor to the face, like Vi Alpha, Vaiji, they tend to have that. Like you could see a little bit with Larry King.
I'm not familiar with that word at all. A pallor?
Pallor means the whitening of the skin, or a paleness.
This is.
Yeah, it's sort of like a paleness quality.
Almost like a blood's gone or something. Yeah.
Pallor. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that cue.
I've heard it. I think a couple times in these hangouts, but it isn't something I don't think.
Do you mean like the waxiness look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pallor, and then the definition is unhealthy, pale appearance, like pastiness,
we mentioned
ashen,
we said ashen before as well.
Sallowness, grayness.
Locking up millions of people.
I guess it's one of those things like once your vocabulary expands enough, you'll find words like that kind of like are a lot like other words we commonly use for our cues. So it's kind of.
Sure. Consider Richard Nixon. A very.
She seems very locked on all the time. Just eyes.
Is Zivi a possibility? Because I did hear someone mention like Sarah Palin.
Well, are we seeing Vi and Ni, or are we seeing Ni and V? I feel like I'm seeing.
I don't feel like I'm seeing pinched with her.
Yeah, I agree
and
with
like,
that.
does Zivi still have a drone?
End of that war. We have to be the
It's
driver.
more of like a crackly drone because they have the Z first, but it's still a drone.
In distinction, we are powerless. We are not powerless. We actually have the numbers to win this, and we actually have the solutions that can actually fix these crises.
What keeps you going, Jill? It must be frustrating.
Yeah, I also feel like her eyes seem like they're more.
I was very frustrated.
More glossy, if you will, but not like V alpha, obviously.
I practiced clinical medicine, and I sort of worked my way up the food chain to political medicine. Because
She's kind of giving me a game style, not physiological, a game style riff of Rachel Maddow right now.
Oh, I see, like shades.
Wait, did you say shades?
Yeah, like shades of me.
Illnesses, which is
Rachel Maddow.
Oh, I see. Never mind. I thought I was thinking about a Vijay person.
The first time I ran
I don't know, Rachel. I think was her first name or something.
In Massachusetts, and we fought our way into a televised debate. And inside that debate TV studio, the ideas I put forward, like here, went over like lead balloons. But when we walked out of the debate...
Also,
I was
There's
not.
something about the way she flutters her head that
I had won the debate,
kind of gives me a fourth gear of
and at that
the
point,
factual feminist. What's her name?
I already won in the court of public.
Oh, that's a good riff. I don't know her name.
Anita Sarkeesian.
No, not Anita Sarkeesian. She's not the factual feminist.
Oh, no.
Anita
She's like the
Sarkeesian is not the
opposite of
factual
her.
feminist. Okay.
Oh, Christina Hoff Sommers.
Thank you, Christina
Oh,
Hoff
yeah,
Sommers.
nice. Thank you.
Break that stranglehold, take our democracy back. The minute we
Or
get,
I'm thinking of feminist frequency.
we basically win the day. That's not such a hard battle to fight. Our lives depend on it. The clock is ticking on climate, on the next economic meltdown, on the fascist
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
prison system,
She's
the
a very elegant Xenai.
prison system. The clock is ticking on all these things. They're not getting better.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling
Almost
pretty
demure.
confident.
She emphasizes her joy a lot.
Congress, Wall
But
Street,
in like a way, like she's very steady,
the Democrats do that in the show. So we really need to learn the lessons
not like
Yeah.
victimization.
of politics of fear and go back, go forward.
Is there another video?
Yeah, is there
Politics
another
of
video?
courage.
Oh yeah, sure. We've only looked at one video, so we should probably have another.
Yeah, elegant but firm. Like she's really
Yes,
confident in what she's
exactly.
saying. Yeah.
Exactly. Very steady.
Mhm.
Here, I'm gonna just make sure I get a high quality piece of footage here. All right, I've got one. This one should be good.
Definitely see a point in some pretty good.
We got an interview for you guys.
At Romney, and we fought our way into a televised debate because even back then the public was absolutely tearing its hair out, like hungering for something real in those debates. And inside that TV studio,
It's a lot of
I,
A lot of shy there, I can see.
it's a lot of shy. Is
Oh,
she
maybe-
making nice like a Sigourney Weaver?
Our economy, healthcare, and education.
Sigourney Weaver, yeah, like I think I see a little bit of that, but different, I think.
Inside the TV
Yeah.
studio,
Yeah, she's a
like-
nice Z. Also emphasizes her joy a lot.
press, the first time
It's like headbutting, basically.
told me that
I feel like with
oh,
Jill here, she seems more
that, like,
savvy with the Z.
about what was going on.
Does
That
that make sense?
the whole
Like,
press
it seems more normal for her.
thing to cover is actually the terror that if we do get covered, we're going to win this thing because this is where the public is. Even back in 2002, that is why they cannot afford to cover us because when socialists
Very low viscosity.
She
Or
does have long features though, so I'm considering, maybe she's a Nazi or something.
Yeah, I'm playing with the longness.
He's a Xenai on the left-hand side. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
with our the neoliberal media is not interested.
But I mean, having, she's an old lady. She can have long features and
The
still be
thing is,
Xenai.
yeah, sometimes pilots are thin.
Yeah,
You
that's
see
true.
that with like female Xenai models and also like Xenai. Sometimes they're thin.
Yep, that's true.
sometimes subjectives happen to be, bigger. Like, I think that's
Well, they certainly seem to be communicating with Z and Shy.
companies and
And
don't criticize the war contractors
seems more
and the
dreamy
candidates that
to
are
interpret it.
rolling in their dough.
I'm always amazed
Trying
by
to
the
figure out,
invisible
like,
hand
objective
of
versus
the-
subjective, and
of power, really, right?
In
Because
fact, Mark Jane Sarapi is, she has thinner features. She's a Xenai lady, so it's
Right.
Mhm. It's not always that clear cut. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like very broad patterns.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm fighting for truth and all
They
this.
aren't necessarily so.
I think they're
Yeah, I feel pretty confident with Xenar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure too. Yep.
separate ways. They're corporate bosses, right?
It's almost 7:30. Like
I
one
feel like
minute.
I see a lot of discernment in the way she's actively listening. Like she's silent, but I can see her like flexing, like she's like shy and seeing that. Not so much like the kind of Nijai drinking in.
Yeah.
Ask President
And I
Yeah.
see even.
Active listening.
World. When are you going to get these bastards? Said ISIS. I don't mind the bastard talk. I mind the reference to, the only answer is the military. How did
Like she's following along with what he's saying very carefully.
I had the privilege
And it looks very natural and easy for her too.
of kind of being here as the transition took place. In 2000, when I first ran, the press was beginning to clamp down, and initially I got coverage, like even local newspapers would cover, and then they got corporatized, and they just stopped. And I also saw reporters with integrity that covered my campaign. I saw them get
Yeah. I
fired.
don't feel any doubt that she's a Xenai.
jobs, or edited down to where they.
A little bit.
And I had reporters who were there.
I don't know. I'm still considering Vaiji with good knee.
Tell the whole story. They couldn't say that. And then those reporters who actually conducted their affairs like human beings, they disappeared entirely. So, you know, I think partly it's
I am leaning more towards Zenai, though.
good guys have been chased out of town.
Yeah, there's, you know, I don't know that it happens very specifically like that all the time.
The tower in her voice makes her sound almost like
So I
tired sometimes a little bit.
that way. But I think you're right that the main way that it happens is Darwinian.
Yeah, I think she has like a more yin kind of game.
Yeah.
Like a reporter that
She's like a drawled it out. Like,
well, why would you continue?
For me personally, it seems very clearly Zenai. I don't know.
The dream is not going to rise to the top. The people who do the bidding of that corporation, logically so, is going to rise to the top. And the corporations generally like tax cuts.
Yep.
Sometimes
Okay, we'll go around. Start off with you, Bruno. Where do you land on Jill's time?
Zenai?
Okay. Glenn?
Yeah, I think Zenai, maybe Vaiji could be second. I think maybe no, Z-Vi could be second, Vaiji could be third.
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go to Z9.
I say Zenai.
Okay, I'll go Zenai second, Nai Z from there, and Ben.
Zenai second, Vaiji.
Coach.
She was tough because we haven't seen a lot of this particular necessarily, but
It's a nice name.
she's a Vaiji with good knee.
Yes.
Whoa.
I was telling you guys, but I didn't go with it though. So I mean,
But longer, and then also I think Bruno mentioned she has that perceiver thing, her being locked on, and also the warmth of her voice. But very good.
She did have a one. That's right.
Very good game. And something to note, you guys are saying, which is true, that you can have objectives with longer faces and subjectives with fuller faces. That's true. But also on the other side, but another angle to come at it is that when you're looking at politics, is that the Zenai and also Vaiji and the Vai-Z, and also when the Nejez show up there as well, they tend to, the Zenai is kind of like the way to do it. And so you'll see most of the games in politics, for example, particularly when they have to do what she's doing, she's present her case. They tend to actually try to adopt some forcefulness and consistent use of pushing forward in their game because it's seen as strong and put together and on the ball. Anyway, she had a very good game. I liked her. A good bardic voice. It took me a while to catch her drone. She's a lot of good warmth and a good use of the knee as well. Maybe, guys, before you sign off here, let's watch like a minute of her again now. I think take this side one here because you see her gesturing and also the side profile that Hunter makes.
Yeah, I know she had.
Sorry, Ben.
I noticed that she seemed to have a hunter hunch in some of the images I was looking at.
Because of how
drawing out of certain words for
How
emphasis.
different equation do you think it would be if the press covered the Green Party as much as it covered even 10% as
In
much?
that smile Xiaolin sense, it looks like
I
the
think
Moing might have been going up at the time. Now we know it is, but
kind of Americans now.
Yeah, actually, I was going where Bruno was for a while. I actually was
According
contemplating
to
Naiji
the latest Wall Street
because she's
poll,
got such really interesting
21%
movement and everything, and the drone was hard to hear. I believe it's Naiji with a really good game.
Yeah, she reminded me a lot of Naiji Mary McDonald, but
For hands.
I realize now that it's just the G articulation in the mouth area.
I could see a little bit of warm spider.
That's concern. That look that she's doing it around. Yeah, I saw that before.
Top of all people on the right side.
Very interesting.
I didn't really pay attention to her hands much while we were reading her before.
A big game.
Yeah, the emoting was definitely going up higher.
Her hands are actually pretty obviously not Z alpha hands.
It does have
and it's trying to project.
But I think
consistent,
at least half of his appeal is I'm not taking money from the donor.
You know what I mean? Because you look
I'm rich, I
strong
don't need
and
their
not
money, and I'm not
shifty.
beholden to anyone.
Yeah, she's like using her Zai to seem sort of earnest.
Pervert.
All the
I
subjective.
think one of the main things that Xiaolin said that she saw in the beginning was the voice.
For you guys,
What is Baiji
We've
like
been hating
CEOs, so
each
they have
other
to
for a
kind of watch
long
how they don't look
Yeah,
away too
yeah,
much,
very
look down too much. You're
And,
not supposed
but,
to.
you know,
Right.
we've been living
Apparently, the Xene eye is the way you do
It's
it.
not like we just
Yeah.
survive.
Or his expectation.
You're
Uh,
engaged,
At
you're on the
first,
case.
the shock of
Engaged,
it
confident,
was,
bright,
quite a shock.
optimistic.
Well, you
Yeah.
learn this is
Gonna go for the win kind of thing.
our compromise.
So you can see that she sort of overdoes it with the head jutting and the butting. She's like overdoing it.
Got more like that viper look that happens when
This
the
is going
hunters
to be
do a lot of jutting.
An epic battle for our survival. And the
Because
same
it's not
fight
that
that we're
full.
fighting,
You have full
to
quality
fix
in the
the climate
juts
or to
and the
repair
hands.
healthcare
The hunters,
or to
it's a
have
bit
jobs
more
for
da-da-da-da.
wages or
So when they try to get a little more yang,
the gloves
they
are off.
it sometimes becomes more
And
cutting.
This is as
So,
dirty
Yeah.
dirty,
a
vicious.
fight as the corporate predator can fight.
It looks a little bit less like it's easy for them. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
like go for it. Like boom.
Yeah, she's also articulating, I think, a lot faster than is her comfortable rhythm. She's
Yeah.
kept going, and she had to like have these explosions, to power them.
Yeah, it says she sounded kind of tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a very good game.
Yeah.
All right. So if we're good on her, we'll call for tonight. So this week, Adema, so you up for samples? Mm-hmm. Bringing it. Cool. Then
Awesome.
Tuesday, we will be doing Naiji Temple. On the rotation, I believe I'm up, so I'll go ahead and take that one. And I'm going to be going off of Ben's going to be doing a little presentation for us.
I will be.
So I'll just make the theme of the discussion. We'll be talking about basically personal expression. That'll be the theme. We'll kind of get into. It'll be fun.
And I'm actually like already prepared, so.
Oh, excellent. So we'll start.
Should be good.
And then we'll continue on with talking about personal expression. Okay. I think that might be a topic I want to do actually in the Nijez and the Interpretive, maybe like a 3-part series. It's personal expression.
Yeah, it sounds like a really important topic.
It's a very important topic.
For me personally, like I think that'll be really useful to get more into.
If you're going to be a pioneer, which we all are, personal expression is part of the deal. All right. So, Demas has got that. Mm-hmm. Ben, can you give the answers for this quiz on the?
Yes, sure. I'll do that tonight.
Okay, perfect. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful week.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for my samples, Coach.
Good thing.